Oh goodness, where'd we leave off? Oh yeah, we're rebuilding our Stonewood endurance. Funny, funny. Hello there. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day. If y'all haven't done so already, become a wolf by liking and subscribing, and let's jump right back into this tutorial. Alright, today we're going to be briefly covering the south and the southwest side. We're also going to be covering extended extra add-on damage that we're going to be adding on to our previous builds. If you haven't followed along in our tutorial so far, we built a couple amps. And these are just a couple of the add-ons that I kind of hinted at earlier on in our step-by-steps and or whatnot. I apologize for the pre-building. As some of you are aware, I wanted to make sure the pathing's correct. And I believe we're going to need probably a lot more block off. If you see a problem, use your melons and or you don't have to follow every single tile and then complain in the comment section down below if you have a problem with your build. And so I'm sure someone will come along and help you. Moving on. Today's tutorial is mainly the pit, which is a biggie. It's the pit of Stonewood, basically. It gets hit by several waves, including a tornado wave that just completely rips out every single trap. I don't even know. I don't even like this. This is a terrible amp. I'll just tell you that right now. The tornado tears your traps up and just messes everything up. So after a tornado or whatever, you may need to check on it because some of these traps are just tore up from the floor up. That being said, moving on. This is the main trap box that we're kind of be using. The bulk of the enemies are going to be dropping down into there after we use a couple of our zappy zaps to slap them around on spawn. And the traps that we're mainly going to be using in this trap box are a freeze trap that counts for their CC counter. That also helps give them extra damage when they're frozen. They take an extra a little damage, and then we're going to slow them down, and then we're going to push them right into our trap box, which is also a CC freeze trap box. And for the wall launcher, we're going to be using a 2 impact. I like to use 2 impacts because so it seems like the smasher's like, ooh, a 1 impact, blue. And if it's too much high level, it may just be me, but I like to use 2 impact. So, and it's going to be a gas trap, 144 gas trap if you have it. If not, you may want to use a lower level, a wall dart, and then like all these traps are crit damage, crit rating like this. Yeah, I mean you can alternate from the two, but for the most part we're using crit. We're just trying to crit them into this box. If they come into this box, we definitely want them to die. And once they get to there, which a bunch of because we minimized some of our traps, and if you don't have enough high tech, we're definitely going to have traps over here. So yeah, and just throw wooden floor. Basically, if your tech squads are high enough, the wooden floor specs are good. But it's safe to have more. So yeah, and just add a couple of woodens there. And from there, usually the smashers will always break that wall, that angle wall. That angle wall isn't even 100% necessary. The smasher always breaks it. But add it anyway. One extra angle wall there, just for the enemies to smack around is sometimes helpful. Okay, moving on. We're gonna add freeze traps here, and that's because we're 3 tiles off the ground. We're gonna have. We're probably gonna add some crit, something with a high crit. You can add ceiling electrics or 3 tiles off the ground, roly-poly floor ceiling tires of funness. That's the new name, by the way. Regardless of the fact that I suddenly on the moment forget names of traps and just make up names. If you're wondering what just happened there. The traps we're going to be using here is a wall dart. So yeah, if an empty wall, if you have an empty wall and you see the need, feel free to add extra traps. Like wooden, like if I end up having a sound wall, or not a sound wall, if I end up having a propane problem on this amplifier, I will definitely later on be adding sound walls to this wall and changing this wall dart out with a sound wall later on if I notice a propane issue. But for the time being, I'm going to add a wall dart. So yeah, like I said, and then let's see. Don't forget to just you don't have to go too crazy, but just know there's clearly a zillion spots to add extra damage if say you have a problem. And if you're trying for a max level 30, you will definitely need damage and survivor duration on your traps on this tunnel. Especially because this build is mainly, I didn't want to spawn kill them. I was trying to just slow them down because I didn't really see the need to spawn kill them. But the very last Stonewood endurance that I'll do will be a what the hell. I'm adding every single structure I have left over to overkill everything. Trap. So stay tuned for that. But moving on, you're gonna add 3 tiles off the ground, floor roly-polies, amplifier facing the same direction I am, and they're gonna be dropping almost directly onto these floor freeze traps that 100% always get destroyed by the tornado wave. Yeah, it's a brutal. You'll understand once you do a zillion tests, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just put all these traps, and the tornado just rips every single trap. Yeah. So moving on, you're gonna be filling this entire area with your double crit ceiling electrics, 144s if you have them, which is what we're rebuilding this for. Also, I'm rebuilding this basically for super simple battle pass XP, so stay tuned for more of that action. So you're going to be adding a freeze trap here that'll slow down some of the smashers and stuff that like to some of the enemies that like to hover on this enemy. You're also going to add a dynamo. That dynamo will also push an enemy off this cliff if it hits them correctly sometimes. So it's a double whammy. Yeah. So yeah, and we're gonna be filling this tunnel here with a couple wall darts, which are this tunnel definitely needs damage. As it stood, after the previous tests, I did need extra damage on this amplifier, which is also why I'm currently showing you the thing. And the block off we're gonna cover is this wall over here. This hill over here, just cover this whole thing in a full metal jacket. Angled walls, and also slap a bandage on it, as in slap a heal on this wall here, because the assassin husks are stupid annoying and they like to track the player sometimes, and they won't walk around the mountain because they're super duper lazy like me. And yeah, and believe it or not, they actually spawn, the enemies spawn way out here, so you will definitely want, and there's plenty of room to severely hamper and spawn kill them with damage, which we will definitely be adding on at the end of this. And the reason why we're going to be trying to spawn kill them also is because the tornado wave if you're trying to away from keyboard this, to wave 30, the tornado wave may damage your traps to the point where if they spawn to the south or southwest, that the traps next to the amplifier, they don't even work because they're gone. Yeah. And it's, the tornado, it roams around. It destroys what it's want. It doesn't destroy everything badly every time, but yeah. Moving on, we're going to briefly cover the west side. As you see these traps that stand, this worked for war games, and it also stood up with the traps that are currently on it. As seen, it stood up for level 30. And today we're just going to be adding a little extra zappy zaps to our spawn point. And later on, we're definitely going to fill all these block off walls we have here, the block off we got on this hill, and stuff like that. We're definitely going to be adding traps for those later on, like probably once I determine we have a gazillion structures. Yeah, like I said. And that's just a brief, I'm not going to we're not going to add too many structures to that right now. And yeah, don't forget to upgrade everything to the max tier 3 metal, as if it matters. A tornado, yeah, like I said, this gets hit a lot. It randomly by the tornado, by mist monsters level 30. And one more thing before we go, don't forget, like 100%, we are definitely going to need to add are the extra damage to their spawn point. So don't forget to cover this entire area with all the metal that you mumble mouth. all the areas that you see, just feel free to add a trap to it, and this will help out significantly. As of other tests, this isn't even the side that's a problem. The side that's a problem is I didn't have enough block off on a different wall, and it's like 50% of the time I need more block off on it. But I'm sure if you built this and you did 1 or 2 tests, you'd be like, hey, yeah, I can clearly see that needs just a little bit more. So yeah, just keep that in mind, as the rebuild process is a process that you and me are going through together. And it's Stonewood. I'm in twine level. There's this is just a simple build, a simple rebuild compared to the old build I had 4 years ago. This is definitely improvement to my old build, and that's a for sure, because my old build had low level traps on it. And today we're just going to be adding 144 crits basically to the spawn point, to the end of it. And these little modifications like this definitely help out, definitely for Stonewood and beyond. I really hope y'all enjoyed today's little tiddly diddly, and if y'all did, don't forget to smack that like button before you go, because when you do become a liking. Puns beside. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. Did I say that already? I messed that up. Whatever. Have a wonderful day. See you.